Factorising, common factors. Example 1. Now, when you do factorising, you always have to look for the common factor. Now, before you worry about common factors, you first have to go and look at your expression. This is an expression because there is no equal sign. If it's got an equal sign, it's an equation. Now, this expression's got two terms, this one and that one. A plus or a minus separate your terms. Remember in the first term we spoke about that? Now, I'm going to refer to these two terms as sides. There's one side and a second side. Now, you've got to go find out what's in both these sides, meaning what is common to both the sides. The way I do it, I start with the numbers. Now, I look at the smallest number, and in this case, it's the 3. And now I ask myself, this 3, can it divide into the other number on the other side without leaving any remainders? And yes, 3 can go into 6. So what I do is I draw a little ring around 3, marking it as my common factor. Then I cross 6 out to show I've worked with it. And I say, okay, 3 goes into 6 twice. Then I look at my alphabet letters. The X on this first side, does it have a friend on the other side that it can divide with? No. So I go and I cross the X out to show I've worked with it, and I bring it down to the next line. The Y also don't have a friend in the other side, meaning this side. So I take a pen and I cross the Y out and I bring it down to the next line. Now I go and I bring my sign down. These that I brought down is my leftovers. So I'm going to put them in a bracket. My common factor, I put in front of the brackets. And there is my first example factorized. Let's try this one. Remember, we first look at the numbers. Now here I've got a 3, that's my smallest number. Can 3 go into 12? Yes. And can it go into 6? Yes. So I go and I make my ring around the 3, showing it's my common factor. It can go into 12 4 times, and it can go into 6 twice. Now I go and look at my alphabet letters. Is there an A in all of them? Yes. So I make a circle in this one. This one, it goes in ones, but I don't write the 1 at the bottom because 4 times 1 will be 4. I draw a line through the A and I don't bring anything down. Now I look at my next alphabet letter. It's a B. There's a B in this one, but there's no B there. So it's not a common factor. It's not in every one of the sides. So I go and I cross my B out and I bring it down, and I cross that B out and I bring it down because there's nothing that divided it away. The next alphabet letter is the C. There's no C in here, but there is a C in there. Again, it's not a common factor to all 3 the sides. So I cross the C out and bring it down, cross the C out and bring it down. The only time you don't bring it down is if there was somebody or something that divided into it. Now I bring my signs down, put a bracket around these ones that I brought down, and then I put my common factors in front of the brackets, and I'm done. Now in example 3, we've got 2 sides again. See, 2 terms? Let's start. What is my smallest number? 6, and 6 can go into 12, so 6 is my common factor, and it goes into 12 twice. Okay, now I look at my alphabet letters. Here I've got an X square, and here I've got an X. I look for my smallest alphabet letter. So this one is smaller than that one. This one can divide into that one. But that one can't get into this one. This one is too small. Okay, so I say X is my common factor, and it goes into x squared, and there's one x that's left. How do I know that? This is to the power 1, and this is to the power 2. So it's 2 minus 1. Remember, if you divide with exponents, the exponents get subtracted from one another. Okay, now let's go again and look at the next alphabet letter, and that's the two Y's. They're exactly the same. So I could make my ring around any one of the two, but I usually work from left to right where possible. So this Y is the common factor, and this one I cross out, and there's nothing left to bring to the bottom. It divides in fully. Then I bring my sign down, because all my letters and alphabet letters has been, numbers and alphabet letters has now been used on the first line. Now I go and I look for my little rings. It's 6YX, but we write it in alphabetical order. And it's done. Example 4. Okay, let's go look at what number is the smallest number that can divide into all three. And here it seems to be 5. 5 can go into 25 5 times. And 5 goes into 15 3 times. Good. Now my letters, there's an x and an x squared. And you can't use it as a common factor because there's no x here by 5. So I just bring my x and my x squared down. Put my minus and my plus, and then I see, oh gods, what now? Here I've got a hole. There's nothing written here. I didn't bring an x or a y or a number down here. If it's like that, always bring down 1 if there's nothing else. Because my common factor is going to be 5. 5 times 3x squared will be 15x squared. And 5 times 5x will be 25x. And 5 times 1 will be 5. And my factorized answer must be able to multiply back to the original expression. My last example, I've got a 3-term again. There's 3 terms, so there's 3 sides. And my smallest number 6 can go into 12, but it can't go into 9. They'll be left over. So what I've got to do, I've got to find a number that will go into each one of these, if there is one. Now what number, the biggest possible number that can go into all 3 of these? Can you think about it? Yes, it is 3. So I write it one side and I make a little circle around it to remind me that's my common factor. Now 3 goes into 12 4 times. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. That's now done. Now I'll go look at my alphabet letters. The x is common to all 3 sides. So this x is my common factor. It divides into there. There's nothing left over. And it divides into there, and there'll be a x that's left over. My next alphabet letter is the y, but it's not common. Why not? Because there's one, but there's no y, and there's one. So I just cross my y out and bring it down, cross that y out and bring it down. Now it's the turn of my signs, and I put my 3 and my x in front. Look at this video a few times, and I'm sure you'll find the factorizing of common factors a lot easier. And it's very, very important that you can find a common factor, because you'll always look for common factors first before you use any other method.